What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I'm your good friend and host, Kory Willis. I hope everyone is doing well on a Friday, getting ready for your week 6 in college football this season. It's crazy, Chris. We're already at week 6 of the college football season, halfway there. It's crazy.
You blink your eyes twice and bam, week 6.
I know.
Middle conference play. We're in the
Exactly. I mean, that's what happens, folks, when we're watching the game of college football. You know, once it starts, you might as well cherish it while you can, because with a snap of a finger, just like that, it's already at the end of the season. We're already, getting ready to crown bowl winners and national champions and things of that nature. So yeah, man. I hope y'all had a great week and getting ready to watch some good college football overall. As always, we appreciate you guys listening to the show. We're on many different streaming applications out there, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Amazon Audible, iHeartRadio, and many other streaming platforms out there. So, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the show. It very much helps us out, guys. It helps us know what we're doing and how we can improve the show for the future for you all. So, feel free to do all of that, because we very much appreciate you guys' support with the show. As always, you just heard him just a second ago. You know who I'm with. I'm with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what's going on, my man?
Nothing much. Preparing myself for what will be another wild weekend of college football. If you guys saw, this past weekend was crazy, and it definitely was, because we got a classic with Bama and Georgia. We had just an old school slug 'em out, just tough, gritty football with Ole Miss and Kentucky, with the Wildcats getting upset. We might be in store for another upset weekend, and it might not just be one. You might get several this weekend. And it's a crazy, unpredictable slate we have here, Kory.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of, weird games, but games I wouldn't avoid at all. This is week 6, folks, so, anything can happen.
It's a trap game. You might look at it and be, this team will win. Oh, that team, they're going to win. Trap game, baby. Trap game.
Hey, no, exactly. Like, I'm not sure if you had saw this earlier this week, Chris. I think it was Vanderbilt who decided to do the craziest thing this week. Well, they've done a couple crazy things this week in the football facility. They decided to put actual rat traps around the football facility to get their guys mentally prepared for this game against Alabama this weekend. So I saw that and I was like, okay.
You buy into it. This is, they say it's a new day at Vandy. We are a real trap game. We'll see.
We'll
see.
Yeah, and then they also, put stats up of the game on their scoreboard. I know they're making that brand new addition to their football field, but they already put the stats up of what the game is going to become at the end of it, Chris. So you gotta love Vanderbilt whenever they play Alabama.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Do what you gotta do. I don't know about putting it on social. I would have kept this in house, but yeah.
Oh man, no, I agree. I mean, they're really taking on that spoiler position very seriously, Chris. I mean, who can blame them? I mean, they have been known to do that at times with certain teams, but when it comes to Alabama, they've been unsuccessful. But who knows? That's the reason why we play the game. We'll see what happens.
Right. We will see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Chris, week 6 is here. We got a lot of games to talk about. We have Bolton's bets coming up later on in the show. Hope you guys tune in to listen to Chris's thoughts on what can be a wild week 6 and, what can be a great day for a lot of people's pockets out there. But yeah, man, we got a lot of games coming up this week. A lot of, trap games. I think a lot of people in the country can say. We can start off, Chris, with one of the biggest games in the SEC this weekend, where the Texas A&M Aggies will host the Missouri Tigers. So, it's going to be a big game, Chris. Missouri, had that scare against Vanderbilt a few weeks ago, got a bye week, and now they get an opportunity to, get back on the football field, hopefully have some things corrected, to take on an Aggies team that's trying to find themselves in the first year with Mike Elko right now. But overall, this game should be a pretty exciting game in the SEC. It's an 11 a.m. kickoff, so we're gonna all get up and watch this game together. Right now, Vegas has A&M, Chris, as a 2.5 point favorite, and the ESPN matchup predictor has Missouri edging out Texas A&M at 51.5% to win this game. So, two different thought processes right now with Vegas and ESPN's analytics overall. But what do you think, Chris, heading into this game? I'll give you my predictions on who I think is going to win in a moment. But I want to go ahead and get your thoughts on this game. Who do you think has the edge over who this week?
Brother, this is such an interesting matchup. We joke on this podcast over the years of how everybody hypes up A&M. Oh, this is the year they'll do this, that, and the third. And they're good for an upset, and they're good for getting upset. This year, they were favored to beat Notre Dame at home, lost to the Irish. Now you welcome Missouri, a team that's ranked in the top 10 by the AP poll. But tell me if you agree, they haven't played like a top 10 team this year. In my eyes, Kory, when we look at how teams are performing on the field, have they looked like a top 10 team to you?
No, they've played around, pity-patted around, and look, this is a team that, I like this offense. I like Theo Weiss Jr. and, Brady Cook and, all of these guys, Luther Burden,
right.
They have a really solid core group at offense, and their defense, it's very
solid, stout too.
Yeah, it's pretty stout as well, but they haven't really lived up, for whatever reason, to the hype this season. They're still number 9, but it's still weird right now with what's going on with Missouri. So I don't know, did they fix these things over the bye week? I mean, this is a good opportunity for the country to see, did they do that? Because if they didn't,
we'll find out very quickly.
Yeah,
because A&M, a very talented team, very good group on both sides of the ball, and it seems like they have found their guy at quarterback. They made a change, and he's played solid. Hasn't been spectacular, but he has played solid football. Reed has, and he hasn't made mistakes. he isn't just turning the ball over. So if they have found their guy, Marcel Reed, that makes this game very interesting. There is potential that either Missouri has righted their wrongs over the bye week. Maybe they finally play to the caliber of the team we think they are. Or this is a hostile environment. You're going to play the 12th man. Marcel Reed brings something to the table with his legs. He's a playmaker. Still got Moose Muhammad out there. A&M's defense will be a nasty group, a tough group to score against. This game can go either way. And as soon as you pick Texas A&M, Kory, we know what happens when you pick Texas A&M to win. They lose, which is also on Missouri's side of this matchup. So I don't know exactly which way to go. My head tells me. Let me just tell you what my head says. My head says A&M wins. We seem like we just said, we haven't seen it from Missouri. Now you get a tough road test against a tough SEC defense with a team that feel like they have found their guy at quarterback with athletes that can make plays. So my head tells me A&M wins this game. My heart tells me, brother, you are picking A&M. You know what happens when you think A&M is going to win. A&M never wins when you think they're going to win. That tells me Missouri finds a way to somehow leave College Station with the win. So I don't know. I'm gonna stick with my head. My head says A&M will win, but my heart is telling me otherwise. But we will see. So I'm gonna just go ahead and rock out with what I think based off what we've seen so far. A&M right some wrongs from that Notre Dame game, figure out a way to get a win in a big time matchup, a good SEC matchup, and they get a signature win for their season and knock off Missouri.
Nice. Yeah, man, I like how the way you laid all of that out there, Chris. I mean, no, I have those same feelings, my brother. Like, this... And look, we'll have another game, in the SEC that we'll talk about later in the show. But this is one of those games in the SEC where we're going to find out potentially who is that, fourth-ish, maybe fifth-ish best team in the SEC, so far. Man, I look at this game and I say, yeah, A&M is at Kyle Field. College Station's going to be rocking. They've probably been rocking all week. You would think A&M should be okay to have this game in the bud, but it's always that time where you think that, and that's never the case. It's never the case. So I think, Chris, I'm going to lean towards Missouri winning this ball game. I'm going to listen to Vegas, and I'm gonna stick with the Missouri pick because I think Drink over the bye week, had to figure out a little bit more about his team, consistency wise on how to make sure that they can put games away properly. I think they're going to figure that out in this game. And I think that's going to give them the edge over A&M. Brady Cook has more experience than Marcel Reed. I like Marcel Reed's game. I mean, he was a guy that Ole Miss wanted. A&M ended up coming in late, flipping that guy. He's there now, playing, fairly well right now with over almost 600 yards and 6 touchdowns right now. So I'm going to lean towards Missouri to win the football game because I think when it comes to just sheer talent, veteran talent, I think I'm going to stick with a veteran team any day of the week. in this when it comes to this game, and just any game in general. Can I say that it not? Can A&M try to figure out ways to win the game? I mean, like I said, they're at home. There's always a way. But I think I'm going to stick with the veteran team in Missouri. I think they're going to win. 2.5 points right now. I guess I'll stick with that because I do believe this game is going to be pretty close.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think the X factor is Coach Elko. We've seen A&M be the team that's so unpredictable over the years under Jimbo Fisher. Maybe it's a new era. This is Coach Elko's team. Possibly he can. Maybe he sets the tone, and this will be the signature win to get this going during his tenure with the Aggies. So the game planner, the schemer, the coach he is, I think will have to be on full display because we know what Drake and what he brings to the table,
right?
And how he's maximized things at Missouri. So I think we'll get one of Coach Elko's best coaching performances to date, and it will be needed for them to get this win. So he's the X factor in my eyes. What he's currently scheming up as we record this pod.
Yeah, Drink is very unpredictable as a coach at times, and I think some people are probably looking at that as a detriment of this Missouri Tigers team, maybe. But sometimes it's beneficial for Missouri because their unpredictableness. If I could say that, if that's a word, but them being unpredictable at times does come at their benefit when they're playing. So I think when it comes to this game, A&M has to kind of keep their head on a swivel because I don't see Eli going into the bye week not figuring out why his team has been getting some of these mental lapses and haven't been putting games away properly. So they got the talent, and I just think they took that time to fix some of those things that they desperately needed to fix. So I'm leaning towards them this week, man.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, man. Well, that was a mouthful from the both of us, but I'm so ready for this game. It's been piquing my interest all week, Chris, and I know this is going to be a game that me and you are kind of going to be going back and forth on Saturday, and I can't wait.
Same here.
Yes, absolutely. Well, anything else you want to add to this game, Chris, before we move on?
Nah. Let's keep it moving.
All right. Well, from College Station, Texas, we will now move up north or northwest, Chris. We're gonna go way in Seattle, where the Washington Huskies will host number 10 Michigan. The Wolverines are coming to town to Seattle this weekend. 6:30 p.m. kickoff on Peacock, so and NBC. So this is I wanted to talk about this game, Chris, because while I haven't fully watched the Washington Huskies game from beginning to the end like that, I've watched the little pieces and the highlights of them. Wanted to see how Will Rogers has been progressing at Washington, former Mississippi State quarterback. I wanted to kind of see how that situation has been working out for him, and so far they're 3-2. Going into this game, they're at home taking on a Michigan team that's starting to kind of find themselves.
They've had a couple of close losses. It's not like they just the losses are them getting whooped.
Right.
It's a good Washington team.
Yeah, Yeah, no, they're very competitive. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting ball game between these two programs. Jed Fish is his first year coaching at Washington. I mean, he was previously at Arizona. Very excellent football coach. I mean, we raved about Jed Fish's Arizona team last year. I mean, a lot of those guys are still there at Arizona, balling as we speak. But in terms of him being at Washington, taking on Sharon Moore, Michigan starting to figure out some things offensively when it comes to the ground game. They're still not, world beaters out there when it comes to throwing the football, Chris. But we know what they bring to the table now with their running game, and that does come with Kyle Mullings being at the forefront of that. This is going to probably be a defensive matchup for sure in this game, and I think Vegas feels that way too, because right now they got Washington as a 1.5 point favorite to win this game. So they're looking at them to win. They're at home, so that definitely helps. I'm leaning towards Washington winning this game too, because I think they're going to have that luxury of being at home to take on a Michigan team that's, they're not complete yet. To me, you got Alex Orji out there at quarterback, but he still has a long way to go before I can sit there and crown him as like the top quarterback in the Big Ten right now. So yeah, I'm looking at Washington winning this ball game. What do you think about this game so far, Chris? What are you kind of getting the feeling of heading into Saturday?
Yeah. So we know Michigan's the more talented team, especially on defense. They have some great guys, something like Will Johnson, what he brings to the table on the outside, how he locks people up. Mm-hmm. Michigan's style of play, there's only one way Michigan wins this game. They just run the football all game.
Yeah.
They ball control, run the football. Like, that is their style of play. They're going to go down, swing, and play in that way now. They understand that about themselves. His offense is not going to be dynamic and open things up. Ground and pound. Mm-hmm. Some play action here and there. Hope you get maybe your tight end, Loveland. Maybe he can get loose and go off and get a 20, 30-yard reception here or there and see if you can get a TD like that. That'll be their shot plays off the play action. But this is a team that's just going to pound it and just run the football. And going all the way from Michigan out there in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's a long trip.
To Seattle. That's a trap. That is some traveling. Will Rogers, he has his faults, his deficiencies, say what you want, but he is a veteran quarterback, has played a whole lot of football. Mm-hmm. A lot of football. We'll be at home. Jed Fish is a good coach, excellent schemer. He's been right there on the cusp of some wins. His offense hasn't come all the way together, but I can't have myself picking Michigan on the road, but I know there's just one way that they can win this game, and I'm just not sure if they can execute it. They possibly will. I'm not sitting here saying it's impossible that Michigan wins this game. It's not impossible. Mm-hmm. With the circumstances of understanding that Will Rogers, all the football he's played, I think in this matchup he can muster it up enough and make enough plays and keep the ball away from harm, and then Washington will win this game at home. Yeah, Michigan should be on upset alert. This is going to be a tough matchup, and if they win this game, man, this team is just it's just so crazy to see how the season going from this game to really find their identity and just turn off the switch just to really right the ship, because it was looking really bad after that Texas game, even before that, with how they were performing and winning games. So if they go on the road to Seattle and get this win, big ups to this staff and this team. But I'm going to go with Washington.
Yeah. I'm feeling the way you are as well, man. Like, I think Washington is in a good spot. They're at home, taking on a Michigan team that isn't good in pass offense right now. So I think they have the tools to, really go after Michigan's offense, rattle Orgy. I think this will be his first away game, being the starting quarterback for Michigan. So, that's a thing. That's a factor that we want to see on Saturday. How is he going to handle the pressure that Washington's probably going to, bring at him, and that crowd? It gets loud in Husky Stadium. We watched some games with UW being at home. That's not a fun place to be at.
It gets crazy there.
Yeah, it gets crazy there. So, man, I'm leaning towards Washington to win this ball game as well. I see that ESPN on their predictor, Washington has the edge at 57.9% over the Wolverines. So, man, I'm all in for Washington to win this ball game. I think Will Rogers and company has the edge, but that's the reason why we play the games. We never fully know. So maybe Michigan has something that they may pull out of the hat. Who knows? But as of right now, I'm also pulling for Washington to win this ball game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think they figure out a way to get the dub, and I will be very interested to see how this game plays out, because there is a world where Michigan this is a team that, after everything they experienced last season, they can definitely band together. We're on the road, fellas. It's us against the world, literally. And they enforce their will and win this game. That can definitely happen. So, if it does, boy, they're working with something. They really are. It might not be sexy, it might not be pretty, but if they are out here, no matter the circumstances, finding ways to just run the football down people's throats and play great defense and win, man, that's something in 2024 for me.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a clash between two stout defenses, in this game. I think they're going. I think both of these teams' defenses are going to keep them in the game. When you look at the stats between some of the headlining guys on offense, when you're looking at Khalil Mullins and Jonah Coleman, running back for Washington, they're very similar. Mullins at 77 carries with 540 yards, 6 touchdowns. Coleman with just 72 carries, 521 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So, they kind of are right there neck and neck. And when you think about Mullins, he just started getting more of the carries. So, just like that. So, they kind of match up well with each other. Same thing with the receivers. Denzel Boston, he's lighting it up right now for Washington. He has 7 touchdowns right now. Colston Loveland, for Michigan, he's their premier receiver as well. I mean, like I said, we'll see what happens with Michigan through the air, but they're going to need it as they get further and further down the season. And I think this game is going to tell that story more and more. So, but overall, yeah, I think two teams are going to go toe to toe. This is going to be a grinder of a game, but I think Washington has the advantage being at home. So, man, I can't wait. This is going to be a good one.
It is definitely. We'll definitely be locked in.
Yes, sir. Well, anything else, Chris, you want to add to this game before we move on?
No, sir.
All right. Well, now we are going to talk about a ACC matchup, Chris, and I think this ACC matchup has a lot on the line this season. I mean, both of these teams right now, they're really good teams, and I think both of these teams are really going to lay it out on the line come Saturday morning. It's 11 a.m. kickoff where the Louisville Cardinals will host the SMU Mustangs. So, yeah, this is going to be a great game in Louisville, Kentucky, Chris. I think both of these teams are going to be going toe-to-toe against each other.
I just want to say real quick, man, the ACC football slate is lit this weekend.
Yeah.
SMU Louisville, FSU Clemson, Miami. Hey, there's some interesting games out there.
Look, that Miami Cal game. I know you probably going to talk about that game a little bit later on, so I'm gonna leave that to you, sir. It's been piquing my interest. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm staying away from that one, brother. Miami is traveling across the country, literally, from Miami, Florida to Berkeley, California. Oh, I'm good.
I can't wait to when that game happens. They show like the map of the USA, and then they like literally show. Travel. Yeah, they literally show the line of how Miami got there. They literally went across how many states? Like 6, 7 states.
And ain't too many doggone states. They did some traveling. I know that much, but
that's crazy.
It is crazy, and this game, I think this game will be crazy too. SMU, Kory, when they lost to BYU earlier this season, I think they were scratched off a lot of people's radar.
Yeah.
Little did we know, BYU is arguably one of the 12 best teams in the country when you look at how they've been playing ball. And SMU barely lost to them. Mm-hmm. Because BYU has been out here. BYU has a team that what they did at K-State ain't just oh man, K-State just got caught slipping. No.
Nah.
BYU was like that. You don't just be K-State and SMU and you ain't like that.
Mm-hmm.
SMU has bounced back very well since that loss. I think the Mustangs are legit. Their D-line is coming together, and that offense is humming now.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to give Louisville everything they can ask for in this game.
I think so too. I mean, we saw last week, Chris, where Louisville had that close game against Notre Dame. A game that they were really trying to compete to win. Man, they get an opportunity to take on a really good SMU team, an SMU team that is not ranked. Look, I understand that they beat Florida State last week, folks, but come on.
They got some love on SMU, but hey, if they win this game, I bet you they'll be ranked in.
Oh, they gotta
You
be.
know, they'll be right next to you.
They
Yeah,
they
they'll be
gotta
right
be.
next to you.
Yeah, it ain't gonna make no sense if they don't become ranked after a win like that. Against a really good Louisville team still. So everything's in front of Louisville, just like everything's in front of SMU. So yeah, man, I think this is gonna be a fun game. I can't wait to see Kevin Jennings and Tyler Show go down in Louisville. I think this game is going to be a high scoring game potentially.
Yeah, this this very well might be a shootout. It wouldn't be a bad pick to take the over in this one.
Yeah.
I personally think with Jennings at quarterback and how he's come along, I think SMU is prime for this win, Kory. And we love Louisville. I think Louisville's a really good team.
Really good team.
Really good team, despite the loss to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
This one's going to go to the wire, though. I don't think it's going to be a blowout at all. I think this one might be one of the ones where whoever got the ball last, this team that gets the win. This is going to be a bad tool. I would go with SMU though. We were high on SMU to start the season. We both had them in our top 25. We like Louisville as well. I know you got your Cardinal jersey in the closet, but I think the Mustangs found a way. And despite that loss to BYU, 2-0 in conference play, you're right there in the thick of it for the ACC.
Yeah,
this is a big game for both teams. To keep that dream of winning the conference going. It's Louisville's first conference game. It'll be SMU's second. We'll see if the Cards can get off on the high note, on the right foot. But I think SMU is. I think they're ready. This is the kind of game I know that program is looking their chops just to make a statement in the conference. You go on the road and beat Louisville. That's how you get people's attention across the ACC.
Oh yeah. And you want to know the funny thing of it is, I mean, we can look at the line right now, Chris. Louisville right now is a 7-point favorite to win this ball game, and ESPN has Louisville edging out SMU at 67.3% on the predictor scale. So, I mean, is it just us, or is Vegas is Vegas and ESPN kind of dogging out SMU a little bit? Because I think we're high on SMU. I'm looking for them to pull off the upset too.
I mean, like we just broke it down, like that loss to BYU is not a bad loss at all. That is aging like wine.
Yeah, it's not. It's hard to play BYU anywhere, especially if you play them at their place.
But that's BYU's a legit team. Legit contender to win the Big 12. So if your loss is to what could potentially be the winner of the Big 12 conference, it's not bad at all. I think this is a team both of these teams are battle tested and ready for this game. That's what makes it so much fun, because Louisville is fresh off a Notre Dame game. SMU has BYU in their back pocket. Louisville also played Georgia Tech, another solid team. So it's going to be interesting, but I think SMU goes on the road, and this will be a statement game. This will get everybody's attention.
Yeah, I think so too, man. And if SMU can win this game, man, what does it do to that program, man? We talk about a program that was on Death Row Records for damn near 30 years. More than that, with the death penalty, a big win like that against a ranked team, one of the best teams in the ACC, and you're in the ACC, man, that's program build. Yeah.
This is that's how you get those recruits to continue to come on to Dallas and play for you at SMU. So big matchup. A huge, recruiting implications surrounding it, and also just a big conference game that can go a long way. And this team potentially competing to win the ACC. We still feel very highly about Miami. After what we saw last weekend, Kory, we can't just say, chalk it up to, Miami's going to whoop everybody. What? If these two teams play, it could be a game.
It could be.
He did that at Miami. It wasn't even like he was at DT.
I know, and some people, on the Miami camp, they're still shocked by that. Like, how do we almost get sunned by a team that lost to Vanderbilt? We can say what we want to say about Vanderbilt, but I think Vandy has gotten better since last year overall. But still,
VT being dog fights with Old Dominion, respectfully, but it's still Old Dominion.
Yes,
so yeah. Hey, it's college football for you.
Exactly.
You'll lose your mind trying to do triangle theory. This team beat that team, so this team should be. Man, anything can happen on any given Saturday.
Yep.
And I think this will be another Saturday that proves that.
Right. Yep. And you got on one side, you got Jeff Brom for Louisville, who's a heck of a ball coach, and Rhett Lashley right now for SMU. Trying to bring the Mustangs back to prominence in college football, and I think he's doing a great job of that right now. So I can't wait for this ball game. It's another early game, Chris. So let's go ahead and get on the field right now and see what these two teams are made of. So I can't wait to wake up Saturday to experience this game as well. It should be a fun one. I know we'll be definitely talking about it as it progresses.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Well, anything else you like to add to this game, Chris, before we move on to our last feature game on today's show?
Let's keep it moving.
All right, man. Well, our last show, our last game that we'll talk about before Chris moves on to Bolton's bets for Week 6. We got another potential thriller in the SEC, Chris. South Carolina, the Gamecocks, are back off of a bye week. Columbia, South Carolina is going to be rocking. They're hosting Ole Miss, number 12 Ole Miss, to town in what can become a very important game, just like the game earlier between Missouri and A&M in the SEC. I think a very, very pivotal game in terms of just the seating of a lot of these teams. So, Ole Miss, last week we saw Chris lost a heartbreaking game in Oxford against Kentucky. Wildcats stole that game from a lot of the Ole Miss faithful. I've been listening to them all week, breaking down that game, and they're looking to make a comeback. They're looking to fix some things and bounce back big against a Gamecock team that I think is one of those sleeper teams in the SEC this season. I think this is a really good South Carolina team, and they can potentially peak at the right time. So I think when it comes down to Shane Beamer, he knows how pivotal this game is for his squad. They want to come back. They want to get on the field and rectify some things that that maybe they saw were disadvantages of them when they went against LSU a few weeks ago. And, they want to come out on top. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, he seemed to be frustrated. He wants to fix some things as well and get these guys back on track. So, two teams trying to find themselves in a game that, like I said, Chris, is going to be pivotal. And Vegas has Ole Miss as a 9-point favorite to win this game. ESPN has Ole Miss, 75.3% on the matchup predictor to win this ball game. So, they are looking at them as heavy favorites to win. For me, Chris, I'm not going to lie. I think South Carolina has an opportunity to win this ball game. Really good defense. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Lenore Sellers plays this ball game. But I think overall, after what we saw last week from Ole Miss, I think the Gamecocks will become a little bit too much for the Rebels when it comes to their defense. I think you got guys like Stewart out there. Those guys are some dogs, and I think they're going to get after Jackson Dart and company. So I'll leave the floor to you, sir. What are your thoughts heading into this game this week? Because this is going to be a really good game.
This is SEC football right here.
Yes.
Oh man, you're calling for the Shane Beamer special. Is it the collapse of Ole Miss? You lose to Kentucky and South Carolina back-to-back week? The season, theoretically, it looks like the season's over at that point. I'm just saying.
Hey, some people have already mentioned that.
Oof. This is. Ooh, boy. We talked about Texas A&M and Missouri. This is another one of those games where you just picking the team feels so nasty. If you sit down and you pick Ole Miss to win, we've seen this happen before, Kory, where Ole Miss has a lot of hype entering the season.
Yes.
And they find a way to go 8-4 or 9-3 and not live up to the hype.
Yeah.
Or even 7-5. Then you got South Carolina, a team that's notorious for winning games they have no damn business winning, and also finding ways to lose games they have no business losing. It's the perfect storm. It's another one of those games. It's a perfect storm for just foolishness happening in this game. Ole Miss's offense should I think bounce back. I think South Carolina's defense is really good. But I think Ole Miss's offense, I want to say it's a much better group than what they showed against Kentucky. And also Brad White is one of the best defensive coordinators in college football. Mm-hmm. So trying to manage that and keep all that in perspective. Lenore Sellers will have to be big time in this game for South Carolina. He'll have to use his legs. He'll have to stay healthy. If he stays healthy, South Carolina beats LSU. This team is undefeated, and this is a top 25 matchup. South Carolina, this place will be rocking. Columbia will be on tilt. They wish nothing more but to play spoiler and ruin Ole Miss season. They have some playmakers on both sides of the ball. This is a very interesting game. I think it's close initially. I think Ole Miss pulls away in the third quarter. Mm-hmm. I think it's close at half. I think Ole Miss creates some separation in the third quarter, and I think the Rebs win. Am I calling for them to cover? I wouldn't be. I'm not touching this game with a 10-foot pole. This is none of my pennies can get put on this bad boy. Hell no.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I will never hold Ole Miss to cover in a game. I don't care how good they are. and that's not me with the rose colored or the maroon colored glasses on. This is just history. Like, I will not do that.
And you ain't lying. This is history. This on this team. When you at least expect them to. Like, you know, when it's the year, it's like, oh yeah, this is a different Ole Miss team. The team should be just fine, as we saw against Kentucky. And granted, Kentucky is a team that we thought was really good. They had their struggles, lost a couple games.
Yeah,
and they bounced back. So and maybe Kentucky's finding themselves and is becoming that team we potentially saw them to be this year, but. Whew. Just the matchup. Ole Miss is very dinged up, Kory. I don't know if you saw that injury report that on Twitter. They got a lot of players who are questionable, and several, like 6 guys, meaningful guys that are listed as out, with another like 11 listed as questionable. I'm not lying to you, Kory. Everybody is beat up. I don't know if it's just their spirit or if they really are injured.
It's like all of the above right now, probably.
It is not looking good if you are an Ole Miss fan right now with all the guys listed on injury report. But they will. I think Lane Kiffin. We're going to learn a lot about him and his staff. They got to win this game. Ole Miss went all in on this season, Kory. And if they don't win this game, there's a great chance that the season falls apart and Lane Kiffin's agent is making some phone calls. He's on the phone with some people after this game. I ain't saying Lane is. But his agent, damn sure, might be on the phone with some people after this game if they lose this one. Because it might be time to get up out of Oxford if you can't pull it together with this collection of players.
Can I reenact the phone call, if I may?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, this is the University of Florida. You know, we're looking to speak. We're looking to speak to Mr. Kiffin's agent.
Yeah. You got him. Matter of fact, we were anticipating your phone call. Good. We thought this time might come. We're surprised he didn't call us any sooner. How you guys doing?
Good. We look. Any time, any place, we would like to meet to discuss, you know, a potential contract that we can, you know, put pen to paper on. You know, let's go ahead and get this done because you know the guy that we got right now, you know, win, lose, or draw, he out of there. All right.
I haven't talked to Mr. Kiffin yet, to Lane, but I imagine we can be able to set something up. We can organize something. So yeah, we'll be in touch. We'll be in touch.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We'll definitely be in touch. You have a good one.
Hey, but all jokes aside, though, hearing the quotes like Jackson Dart and how these guys said he were devastated after that loss to Kentucky.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of football left to be played. So, like, the vibes are just from this group internally. They let us know if they mess around and lose this one, Kory, I think the sky is falling in Oxford. Truthfully,
yeah, I think so too. And look, I got a good question for you, Chris. Where the hell is Ulysses Bentley? Like, this guy's on the back of a milk carton.
I was wondering the same thing. Henry Parrish, granted, very good player from Miami. No, but where is Ulysses? He is just a pure SEC running back. He's always falling forward. he's going to carry a couple of players with him. You needed him in a game like last week's against Kentucky.
Like, where are you?
You need him in this game. He needs to be found, and he needs to be on the field.
Yeah. No.
Because I don't see him on the injury report.
No,
I don't.
No.
So where is he?
Yeah. It's just as much as a mystery for me as it is for you. I mean, a lot of people have been asking that question, like, where is Ulysses Bentley? Rebel fans have been wanting him. They want, that change of pace at the running back position. Heck, they want to see more runs implemented in this offense. We saw last week, Chris, Jackson Dart's just back there, getting killed in the backfield. Offensive line, was breaking up, at times against that front seven for Kentucky. What do you think is going to happen this week? This defensive line is probably just as good, maybe if not better.
Yeah, I know who is better. You said it to start. Stewart.
Yeah,
Stewart is he's a future top 5 NFL draft pick. Boy, hey, while we're on the topic, that 2027 NFL draft class.
Oh, it's gonna be nasty.
That is good. Oh my goodness, brother. Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
Stewart.
You can make a whole team out of that draft class.
Man, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. But yeah, he needs to be on the field. He really needs to be on the field. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Maybe this will be the game where we finally see Ulysses.
Hopefully so.
They need someone to grind out some yards. And Prescott, he made that grab, that 50-yard grab to keep the drive alive for Ole Miss, but he needs to be featured more.
Yeah.
I know you got all these great receivers, but like he's a legit weapon. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he's a guy that could be playing on Sundays at the tight end position. So can we get him some catches here? Like can we try to get Prescorn some grabs, some more looks, some more targets? Because he's definitely a very good player.
Yeah, and he's a senior. Like, give this man as many touches as he needs, man. If you put the best 11 out there, each and every week, you gotta show up. like you gotta go all in. You gotta go AEW all in if you wanna keep this season alive. So man, this is going to be an interesting game because I don't know how both teams are going to react to one another. Who's going to outcoach who in this game.
Right.
That's what I'm interested in seeing. I mean, when it comes to Beamer ball, I will not discredit Beamer ball. Like when Shane Beamer's on 10 and he finds things to pull out of the hat, magical things to win ball games, he will do it. So I look at South Carolina being at home against a desperate Ole Miss football team, and I look at a team that still has everything in front of them, just like Ole Miss does. But at the end, who's going to come out with more plays to win the ball game? Right now, I just think South Carolina has it. They're at home. The fans are going to be backing them up. They just weather a freaking hurricane. These fans are going to be ready. They're going to be rocking down there in Columbia, South Carolina, Chris. And I think they're going to have the edge.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I'm gonna go with Ole Miss. I think this team has too much on the line. We're going to find out what they're made of. We are, but I wouldn't be shocked if South Carolina won either. Man, this is SEC football. Like,
I love it.
Two desperate teams, because Shane Beamer needs this as well. He needs to have a great season.
Yeah.
And after you fumble the bag and then lose that LSU game, you need to make it up and win this one.
Yep.
You can't lose both LSU and Ole Miss at home. You needed to at least win one of these games.
Yep.
So South Carolina is quiet as kept, just as desperate as Ole Miss is to win this one.
Very desperate. Very desperate. And when you put desperate versus desperate, who's more desperate than who? That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. I can't wait to watch this game. It should be a fun one. 2:30 p.m. kickoff game on ESPN. But yeah, man. Anything else you want to add to this game, Chris, before we move on to Bolton's bets?
No, sir. Let's keep it rolling.
All right. Well, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. We are now at the moment of the show where we have Bolton's bets. You know what it is, when Chris goes over a couple of other sleeper games of the week, gives off his betting predictions, betting odds, try to see if you can hit the parlay for the week, see if you can get a little money in your pocket. So I'm going to leave the floor to my main man Chris to go over what should be a really interesting week 6 for betting fans out there. So Chris, what do you got for us?
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting week, as you said. Play lightly. This is caution. The caution sign is up. So we'll try to be smart with our picks, as always, but we're going to try to pick on a couple of teams. So, Clemson taking on Florida State. Florida State is bad. And Clemson, quiet as kept, they're one of the more consistent teams in the country. Since that Georgia game, they have been putting the WWE SmackDown on every Friday they play. And Florida State is giving us no reason to think that they are exempt. Clemson, 14.5 points, favorites on the road at FSU in Tallahassee. I think they thump them. Give me Clemson to cover. Keeping it moving. If you haven't been watching Boise State football, then you've been missing out. And because a young man named Ashton Jansen, if the Heisman winner was picked today, he would get my vote. 845 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns. They are at home against Utah State. This Boise team is clicking. This offense is rolling. I know they are 27-point favorites, but I'm going to roll with the hot hand and that Boise State offense to cover. So give me Boise State to not only win, but to cover that 27-point spread as well. I know it's high, but I'm not scared of that game. Lastly, there were a couple games. I know we think Tennessee is like that. I agree. I truly feel they are like that. But that Arkansas game is interesting.
It is.
I thought about it. But there is a world, Kory, where both of these teams are undefeated. Arkansas had no business losing that game to Oklahoma State, and then they barely lost to A&M. So I'm gonna stay away from it. I think I just want to watch that one for the love of the game. So we're gonna take our challenge to Des Moines. We're gonna go to Iowa State. I think Iowa State going up against 2-3 Baylor team that's reeling since that loss to Colorado off the Hail Mary. Iowa State's looking very good. They're off to their best start since 2000. Sleeper team to win the Big 12. 12.5-point favorites at home. Their defense is legit. I think the Cyclones cover. Those are the 3 games I'm rolling with. They're 12.5-point favorites over Baylor. I think the Cyclones cover at home. So those are the 3 games we're going to rock with. Iowa State, Boise State, Clemson to all cover.
All right. Yeah, man. I know we talked about Rocco Beck, Jalen Noel, which, is clearly becoming one of the, highlight wide receivers in the country, along with, tons of receiver talent right now in college football. But, this is a really good Iowa State team. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I like your picks. Boise State riding high right now. Our main man out there just running over everybody in Gianti. Just making it look easy with 13 touchdowns, Chris. It's crazy. It's just at week 6.
He's been amazing. I mean, he's so much fun to watch, and I just know Cowboy fans are just salivating. They just can't wait for the NFL draft. They just picture him with that star on the helmet.
Oh man, look, I can definitely see Jared Jones like watching Boise State games every week.
He's been that Birdman meme. He's been rubbing his hands at every Boise State.
He's like, I'm gonna put you right out there in that backfield, son.
Oh yeah. You gonna wear a star. You gonna have that star on your helmet, player. So yeah, I can. Hey, look, Boise. I love watching Boise. That's a fun team, fun offense.
It's a very fun team. So yeah, man. Yeah. So some really good games, man. We're gonna see Clemson put the smack it down on Florida State. Man. I don't know about you, Chris, but listening to Florida State fans, man, it's been rough. It's been rough. They're reeling it, man. You pretty much have that great season last year. You go undefeated. You think you got a chance to go to the college football playoff. College football committee says no. And then you get walloped in a bowl game. Who was it to Georgia?
Yeah. You got demolished.
Yeah. So man, I've never seen a downfall season after such a high the season prior ever. Like this is a collapse. So yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, man, I definitely enjoy your picks, man. We'll see what happens this week, man. So it should be a very, very fun week 6, very exciting week 6. So yes, sir.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. Well, partner, I won't keep you much longer here. I know you have some things to do and everything, but great having you as always on the show. Before we head out, yes, sir. Let the good people know where they can find you on social media, Chris.
Yeah, y'all can find me on X at Chris_Bolton_12 and on Instagram at Chris.Bolton_. Get at your boy.
Awesome. And you can find me on X at Listen to KSW, all one handle. I'm on there talking college football, professional wrestling. We got playoff baseball right now, Chris. My Detroit Tigers moving along. We back. We back in the postseason. So yeah, man. Yeah,
the Tigers are making it happen.
I know. I'm loving this right now. I'm loving this. So shout out to all of the Tigers fans out there. Let's keep the good times rolling. Keep those bats hot. But
yes, sir.
Follow me on there. But yeah, everyone, we appreciate you guys listening to the show. As always, just make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the show, and follow us on any of our available streaming applications out there that we have the show available to you guys. So we very much appreciate you guys' support as always with the show. But until next time, I'm Kory Willis. He's Chris Bolton. You are listening to the Breakdown Sportscast. Peace.